Sunshine, and I'm back with another Rose, Rose, Rose. Hey guys, it's Sunshine, and I'm back with another video. And today I'm giving you guys an update on my dermal piercing. It's been 8 months since I've had my piercing. I got my dermals pierced back in December, and it's currently August. So I've had my piercing for quite a while, and honestly, they're still standing strong. I know some of you guys are here from my other dermal video, getting my dermal piercing, and a lot of you guys have asked for an update on my dermals, so I just want to give you guys a 6-month update on my dermal piercings, even though it's past 6 months, because it's been 8 months. So would I recommend getting a dermal piercing? I personally say yes, but the thing is, just like with any piercing, it just really depends on your own body as well as your lifestyle. I'm really into fashion, so sometimes some of my garments will kind of will rub against it because it's like on my lower back, so that's where my underwear touches and like my pants. So it is pretty common for garments to rub against that area, but I also make sure that I'm placing like my, let's say like my underwear, if my underwear is picking at it, I make sure that I adjust it, or if my pants, I make sure that I adjust whatever garment is touching those piercings. I make sure to adjust it so that way it doesn't pull at it and irritate it and, you know, make it worse. What I did for aftercare of my piercing, my piercer told me to not he told me not to clean it with the cotton swab. So what I did was I would get some warm water with some sea salt, and I would put it on a tissue paper, and I would press against the piercings, and I would let it like press against it for like a couple seconds, and I would just do that like twice a day, and eventually I would do it like once a day, and then eventually I would do it like every once in a while until eventually I just left it alone, because obviously you don't want to overdo it. You just, piercing aftercare usually takes about at least a month once you get the piercing, and then afterwards you got to let the piercing heal. So what I would do for my dermals, I would put warm sea salt water on a tissue, and I would press it against the piercing, and I would do it twice a day. Then eventually I would, for a week, I would do it twice a day for a week. Then I would do it once a day for like 2 weeks, and then eventually I just stopped altogether. I will say that my dermals would get irritated every now and then, like it would flare up and it would like just be irritated, but truth be told, that happens with every piercing. I have multiple piercings, and with all my piercings there would be moments where they would just randomly flare up and be irritated and have like pus and all that like icky stuff, but I also knew that was part of the healing process, so I wasn't alarmed or like freaked out. So I would say that if you do have dermals, or if you do plan on getting them, there will probably be some times where it might just randomly get irritated and flare up, but that's more than likely a healing thing. But like I would say, as of right now, like my piercing barely gets irritated. But truth be told, there is like one of my piercing does get annoyed more frequently compared to the other one. The other one is pretty chill, but one of my dermals kind of gets irritated like every now and then, so I'd have to like just make sure that none of my garments, or like my underwear, my pants, is not tugging at it. And if it really if it continues to be irritated, I would then get tea tree oil, and I would just place it around the piercing, and eventually it would go away. Sleeping with dermals was a very interesting process, because I honestly like to sleep on my back. So back dermals are on the back. So when I first got them, I would just tend to sleep on my side and make sure that I wasn't like rubbing against it. But right now I sleep on my back. Like I'll be sleeping on my back, it's no issue. I just make sure that my my underwear, my pants is not rubbing against it or tugging at it, so it doesn't irritate it. But I sleep on my back perfectly fine. Sometimes like dermals, eventually for me, it's become one of those piercings where it's like you even kind of forget that it's there. The only times that I might be like, oh my god, my dermal, is let's say if something gets caught on it or rubs on it, or if one of the dermals like acts funny. But honestly, it's at the point where it's like I kind of even forget that I have it or forget that it's there, because like it's pretty chill. I can give you guys an update as to what it looks like. Hold on. Taking a shower, I have shower gloves, so it doesn't easily get caught in like on the dermal, but I'm make sure that I'm very like attentive and intentional when I take a shower, like as you should be even without a piercing. But of course, like I'm looking back there, so the chances of me hitting it are pretty slim. Of course, there's always that chance of like maybe if I'm kind of like not like just daydreaming or something, and like, but that rarely happens. I just make sure that I'm looking, paying attention, because also too I don't want to irritate the piercing with my shower gloves. So I make sure that I cleanse around the piercing. But also I don't irritate or scrub the piercing, if that makes sense. Yeah, for garments, I pretty much wear anything. I'm just pretty mindful of the placement of my garments, making sure that my clothes aren't pulling at it. For shampooing, so what I do, like when I wash my hair in the tub, word of advice is, especially for like your freshly pierced dermals, or honestly any fresh piercing, put a band-aid. If you're gonna like shampoo your hair, put a band-aid over the piercing, so that way the shampoo or the conditioner doesn't irritate your hair. So if you shampoo and condition your hair in the shower, I suggest that you put a band-aid over the piercing, so that way the product doesn't irritate the piercing. Because I remember I had even like shampooed my hair, and the product, like when I was rinsing off the shampoo, the product touched the piercing and like it irritated my piercing. So like preceding that, I ended up putting like bandages over like my dermal, and whenever like I shampoo, condition, whatever, and I'm doing it in the tub, I put a band-aid over the piercing, so that way whenever it's getting rinsed out and it's like the water like is running down my back, it doesn't touch the piercing. So I would suggest that you put some bandages over the dermal piercing when you're showering, so that way it doesn't end up irritating the piercing, especially if it's a freshly pierced dermal. So that's pretty much my update on my dermal piercings. Again, my journey of having them has honestly been a really good one, and I really anticipate on having these for a while. I want to be the person that's like, oh yeah, I had my dermals for like 15 years. So I'm just gonna make sure that I continue to do a really good job of maintaining them and being mindful of them, from what I wear and how I move my body. But they've been really, really good to me. I made sure that I went to a piercer that knew what they were doing. I know that some piercing or like piercing shops won't offer them because of how they easily reject and how a lot of people will experience complications with them. So I would advise that you do your research on them. Go to a reputable piercer. Like, please guys, don't be cheap when it comes to certain things. When it comes to a piercing, do not be cheap. Y'all gonna be crying about some, oh my god, my piercing's rejecting, oh my god, my piercing is acting like this. Maybe because you wasn't trying to put up even $100 to go to a reputable piercer, someone who knows what they're doing, and you want to be cheap and spend like $30 on a piercing. Now if you're going to someone that's reputable and that you just so happen to get a good deal, then hey, get that piercing. But if you're just trying to be cheap and you're trying to get a piercing, especially like a dermal, don't do it. Like, you're not piercing your earlobe where you can just get a needle and say fuck it. But you're getting like, this is a different type of piercing. This is a little bit more complicated. So definitely go to somebody that's reputable, someone that knows what they're doing, someone that's experienced. But some piercing shops do not offer them. So if you really, really want one, I definitely suggest just doing your research, look at the reviews, ask the piercer questions before you get it pierced, and yeah, If you end up getting your dermals pierced, definitely comment down below and tell me about your experience. I really want to know, how do you like them? How does it feel? How has it been? How long have you had your dermals? And has this video helped? And if you do plan on getting your dermals, definitely best of luck. Make sure you take good care of them. And if you have any more questions, definitely comment them down below. I don't have an issue doing another video talking about them. I'll probably do a 1-year update, so probably towards the end of the year, if not earlier next year, I'll do another update on my dermals. But I feel like it'll probably be like the same thing as of now, where it's like, because right now it seems like it's pretty much healed, honestly. So I can do another update, like a 1-year update, but I definitely don't mind answering any other questions or doing another video on my dermals. I hope you found this video very useful, and definitely check out my other videos. You'll definitely be seeing more of me, but in the meantime, make sure you stay fly, never be dry, and always be fierce. See you guys. Bye.